Cut. There is no intro for this video, and that's because the intro I did film was a hot mess. I had it was bad. It was bad. But basically, you just missed out on one book, and it was just like this book I read in like middle school, and it's about an escape room. Yeah. Bella, you want to come say hi? She does not. But enjoy the video. What is that thing when people say? And then this was my third book. I actually had to read this for class. My teacher was like, "Oh, go get your book, and we're gonna read in class." And this is the one that I chose. Pretty good. The plot. There's actually a movie, but the plot twist is superb. So good. Such a good plot twist. And it basically follows a girl from since she was young to teenage to adult, and it's so good. And I don't think I ever really highlighted. Yeah, no. But it's really good. I actually really suggest this. I think it's a great book. My favorite part. I can tell you my least favorite part. My least favorite part was the love triangle. When love triangles are involved, no fun at all. Okay, and then this book was next. This is called The Royal Witches. This is where I first found out about the War of the Roses and Elizabeth Woodville, who is amazing. She's the love of my life. And actually, if you look at it, the book's a bit damaged. I was obsessed with this book, and I spilled water on it, and it's such a good book. Like, I was even so into the book, I made this, and you can't read it, but it basically says Henry IV marries Joan. She is stepson or stepmother to Humphrey, who was her favorite, and then Henry IV had Henry V, John of something, and then Humphrey. Humphrey was married to Eleanor, who they also thought was a witch. They thought Joan was a witch as well, so that's why it's called Brother Witches. And Joan was actually queen, because she married in. And then Henry V gets married. He dies on the throne early, so then his son Henry VI becomes king. He marries Margaret, and they have a kid named Ed. Not really important. And then you have Jacquetta of Luxembourg, Jol, and she was really cool actually, and she marries Richard Woodville. And there's actually some hot topic there because she was higher ranked than him, and you weren't supposed to marry lower your rank, but they did. And so they had Elizabeth Woodville, who married Edward the Fourth, War of the Roses, and then they had Elizabeth. Like, I even said how my faves are. Oh my god. And then she marries Henry the Seventh, and then they have Henry the Eighth, who has Mary, Elizabeth, and Edward, and they all had no kids. And that's the end of the monarch. So good, and so crazy. I was honestly obsessed with this book. I even wrote like a little thing that says oh, you can't see it, but it says interesting. I don't know what I found interesting. I can't remember. But it was so good. I honestly think this book like changed my life. But I did vandalize it and I got it all wet. But yeah, this was a great book. Okay. Oh, I would rate this a 10 out of 10. I think it's my favorite out of all of them. And this is Elizabeth Woodville. Okay. And then we'll just get these three out of the way. I have only read the first four. No, I only got this far into the fourth one. But these are my two favorite parts. But I read the first one. I didn't mark it up though. But here were the next two. This is my favorite is Chamber of Secrets because of Ginny. Ginny is my favorite character. But I We'll pull out one of my favorite books, one of my favorite parts. Stupid, useless thing. Write home for another one, Harry suggested as the wand let off a volley of... Yeah. They're pretty good. But out of the first, second, and third, I would say the second one's my favorite. Dobby lost a sock? Yeah. Okay. And then we have The Alienist. What? I just said another book was my favorite. This was The Alienist. I was obsessed with it. So good. It also changed my life. I love Laszlo. I love John Skylar Moore. It's so good. And the ending is incredible. Incredible. I didn't highlight it, but I just kind of put little highlight, like little stamps. I actually made these myself. But yeah. So good. This book is honestly like life-changing. I suggest you go and read. Okay, and then we have The Catcher in the Rye. I read this senior year. Pretty cute. I read it because somebody said it was a really sad book. It wasn't that sad. I'm not reading these. 3 out of 5. 5 out of 5. 6 out of 5. 3 out of 5. 4. 5. 4. Alright. And then we're almost done. It's probably a boring video. But this was my next one, Nero. Very good. Actually surprised I finished this in the time limit that I did. But I also didn't highlight these. Instead, I did this to the pages. Oh, I don't know why it's not. I folded them. But very good. Nero's a tricky guy. He's a tricky guy. And also, I would like to say the author tries to defend him. And so he'll be like, oh, he killed millions. And he'll be like, but he did it because he was sad. I don't know about that. I don't know. Yeah, very good. I really like this book. I would say 5. And then we have this one. This one's called The Marriage Portrait. It's actually really funny. My teacher also read this book. It's funky. This one was really good. It's historical fiction. It also has a really slow start, but a really good ending. So I'm going to say it's a 2. And this book is next. It's called Blood, Fire, and Gold. And it's about the rivalry of Elizabeth I versus Catherine de Medici. And fun fact, I basically like made a trilogy not even knowing, because this book is about basically the line of the Tudors, right? And then we cross the ocean to France, and this is about the Medicis. And then we read about the rival between the Tudors and the Medicis. Come on. No, this book was incredible. Obviously, you can tell it has a lot more than the others. And it's history, so that's always good. So that's my little book review. Wasn't very an in-depth book review. I don't really know how to give an in-depth. No. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Here's Quaker though. And Bella's around here somewhere. Alright.